Hello, 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 hello. I am driving home from the office and just want to pop on here. It's been a minute since I've been on here. Have had some things I wanted to pop on here and say. Just opportunity did not permit itself. But as always, we must be obedient when the voice of the Lord is speaking. So hopefully I can remember all that I was supposed to say. One thing that the Lord had pressed upon my heart to talk about was something that we tend to do, stay longer than we should in situations. And God was speaking to me about my own situations of comfort, but yet not comfort. It's just familiar comfort, but it's not good comfort. And God can be speaking and letting us know that we can do better, in situations in our life. And it brings about an uncomfortability because you're trying to fit, fit a square in a round peg, and it just won't work, and you try and you try and you keep trying to, you come up with all type of different reasons why you should, yet it just isn't working. And as Christians, I get that in certain situations we're not supposed to just jump out of. We believe in that it's not of God to abandon ship in certain situations. Whether you're the scaffold to a church building, you feel you are the support to that building. Whether it's a marriage where you feel, to death do us part, which I don't know where that's a scripture because it isn't, or you're in a job and you see it's a dead end. It's not offering you what you want, but you keep thinking, oh, if I just hang in here and do. I have to order my son some food. So excuse me, guys. Can I get a biggie? Yes, please. Plain cheeseburger, just the bacon and cheese. Sprite, no ice. Yes, two barbecues. Okay, I'm so sorry, but yes, we stay too long, you know, and God will, of course, use all things for good. He works it out, and he actually restores whatever, you know. But there are times we don't have to have put ourselves through that. And in any war or battle, and you put yourself through things unnecessarily, there's going to be scars. There's going to be damage. Thank you so much. Thank you. That now we have more repair and recovery. The longer you stay, sometimes the more damage you're doing to yourself. That now God has to be repaired. And yes, you're giving yourself another testimony and able to help someone. Ooh, don't want to go through all that broken glass. Help someone in another situation, but it's not God's perfect will a lot of times for our life. We're missing the voice. We're missing His wisdom that He already told us to go. Reminds me of, I think it's Thomas, who God told him to do something, and he says, Lord, are you sure that's you? And he told him, yes, it's me. He asked him about 3, 4 times, and he even said, Lord, if it's you, a fleet, like say your welcome mat outside your door. You say, Lord, if it's you, saturate that mat and make everything outside around the mat dry. Then I'll know it's you. And God does it. Then you say, well, Lord, saturate everything around the mat, but keep the mat dry. So, it's those cases where you're like, oh, if we get into something or this deal doesn't go through, that's your way of telling me to get out. And it happens. You said, well, I don't know, maybe that wasn't God. And God is doing everything to let you know the way you ask at times, he answers. Your heart is speaking to you, your mind, and a lot of times what you're going to take out of this is to learn yourself better. You're going to learn about yourself better, to listen to that still small voice. Like, wow, I should have known. That was God. And I don't believe in beating yourself up for any mistakes that you make because, if you knew better, you would have did better. But you can avoid the scars. And hopefully when people do go through it like myself, you can learn from it. You say, wow, I am hearing God. I am, I used to have a friend. She's a friend. She's a wonderful, strong, successful African-American that she used to sell Dudley products. She no longer does that. She has her own company in fitness. And I used to own my own hair salon at the time, and she would sell products, and we would talk. And one of our conversations was about a class we had with Dudley, and it was teaching about how to get over things quicker. That you process it quicker, and you put it where it belongs. You let it go. You just figure out what you're supposed to do. Is this a part of this puzzle that's supposed to stay, go, or work with? And, we would say, girl, I've got this down to a day. Oh, we went from a week to a day to I take a bubble bath, cry, get it out my system, and done. A day over it, done. And it's not that you're cold or mean-spirited or not kind-hearted. It's just that you learn to value your time and value that you've learned what needs time and what doesn't. It's not going to make it any better or any different with going through and doing some of the things that you may do that takes up time, energy, and killing your spirit. Some of us, our energy used to be here, and because of life and what we've been through, and I'm speaking about myself, like, I used to be this, and I used to be, but when you give so much to negative situations that you were not supposed to be in, you tend to bring your energy level down, and you're just not the person that you used to be anymore. And you pray to God to not do that again and build yourself back up. And it's okay at times to be a little selfish with you and the Lord. A lot of the work that sometimes is needed is the inner work. And nothing may be seen on the outside, and you may be quiet at times, and you just are working on building yourself back up and going to another level within yourself, So basically the point of this story is the commercial says you gotta know when to fold, you gotta know when to go. So, you don't stay in situations too long. This situation over here, you're like, I got out of bam, bam, thank you, man. I'm not, child. You know when you get out of some situations easier than others because you've had that experience or you've seen it, you learned it. But in others, you look back 2, 3 years, you're saying, whoa, what was I doing? Because it was a different situation, and you could get caught. You could get caught. You get caught in a career choice, thinking that it was your choice, and you're in it, but yet you could hear the calling of the Lord calling you totally somewhere different, but because you don't put so many eggs in this basket that you just can't make that change. I am a woman of age. I'm in that. Um, so just say, you feel you're old enough to know better, and I'm still learning. I'm still having to reinvent certain parts of my life, and I'll be honest, the enemy tried to have me at one point in my life feel like you're too old to do that. Just cruise it on in. And I just can't believe that some people, at some ages, I don't care if it's 40, 50, 60, feel like, well, you're never too old. You're never too old. You hear about people graduate in school and college, 60, 70. I mean, women still having babies at 60s. I do not recommend that for myself, but God bless who does and people that decide to, because, you got to take your blessings when they come. I'll tell you all the time, Sarah was what? Almost 100, and she was just fine. She enjoyed the time and the life she had with her child, and God made a way for that baby, and went on to be fine too and a successful child. So can't think, oh, my child ain't gonna have time, and one day I'm gonna die, and can no one take care of your babies, your children better than God? So they always trust they're gonna be okay. So I don't know. Somebody needed to hear that. Have your child. Doesn't matter what age you are. When that blessing comes, receive it. Age is really a number. God can restore whatever He chooses and what you have faith to believe in. We know that there are people that are of age and believe in God for love, but the reason why we don't get the love that God has for us because we're in situations that God didn't have for us. So, let go of these dead end situations. I just pray that whoever God had me to do this video for, and I always say, whether it's one person, that's enough, because that one could touch one and one and one, and could build a fortress. So just know that, be wise enough to know when you should go, no matter what the situation is. And I hope, if I have not given an example of any particular situation, that the Holy Spirit will speak to you and give you what it is that He's talking about for you. Okay? That you are wise enough to know, and that you're strong enough to go. It takes strength to start things anew, or to let go of a uncomfortable comfortable. It does take strength. So I pray to God that you will have the strength to do it, to let go, whether you're being pampered, taken care of, and you don't think you could do it on your own, or you got to move to a new state, or you have to move out of your parents' home if you're in that situation. If you need to separate from your husband, whatever it may be, just know God got you. God got you. Don't stay anywhere in any situation that is not of God, and I get so tired of people telling people that, don't leave, too many people jump in and out of things. I agree more with the in, but the worst thing to do is have jumped into something and then to stay in it. Look, you made a mistake. You shouldn't have been there, but it don't pay to now try to make something out of nothing because God wasn't in it in the first place, or your time is just up. Everything